All right, what's going on, Angel fandom? This is me talking a little bit about what has gone down in the Angels organization. Jery Dipoto, new general manager, taking the place of Tony Regans in his 6 weeks as Angel GM. He has gotten rid of Jeff Mathis, gotten us a new catcher with power, a decent relief pitcher, arguably the best pitcher on the market this free agency, and the best hitter on the market this free agency. What the hell is Jery Dipoto? I mean, is something going on we don't know? First off, Jery Dipoto, thank you so much for becoming the Anaheim Angels. And yeah, I'll say Anaheim. I won't say Los Angeles because we're 30-something miles from LA. That's irrelevant. Now, like I said, I want to thank you for becoming our GM. I don't think there's ever been a GM who's done so much in such a quick amount of time. And if there is, you find it and you correct me, because as far as I'm concerned, this has been the absolute best thing to happen in our organization since the Game 7 of the O2 World Series, bar none. Now, we look at the situation here. We have a hard-hitting, aggressive player in Albert Pujols. Amazing player. Very, very, very good at what he does, and that's putting the ball in play and producing home runs and just creating RBIs. That's what Pujols does. That's why they call him the machine. He is just spot on. We needed a left-handed pitcher in our rotation. We did, and we got that in C.J. Wilson, someone who has experience in the postseason and is a very good starting pitcher. So I mean, when you look at our rotation, you've got Urban Santana, who just came off a 11, I believe it was 11-12 season, but he threw a no-hitter and he got progressively, he was pretty consistent near the end of the year. Jared Weaver, who easily should have been, Cy Young Award winner had it not been for run support, which we have this year. So if you take the Weaver of last year, who started off 6-0, and you match that with Pujols in the lineup, a healthy Morales. Again, no celebrating excessively Morales. I don't want you to break anything else. He just came back. Don't do that. And you've got Trumbo. And you've got someone like Pujols who will rub off on these younger guys and even the older guys and really influence the way they hit. You're going to get that run support. And then you have potential to have Weaver and Herron, who had 16 wins, upwards of potentially 20. I mean, there was quite a few games that Weaver could have won that could have put him at like 21, 22 wins had he had that run support. And now we have that extra run support. And, I mean, it's just a phenomenal thing that's happened to this organization. Jery Dipoto is a brilliant businessman, a stark businessman who does not mess around. I think he's a psychological warrior. Brian Wilson, closer for the San Francisco Giants. They say he's a mental assassin, a mental ninja. I'm sorry, Mr. B. Weezy, but the only mental ninja in baseball right now that I'm concerned about is ours. Came out and said we only had $15 to $20 million to spend this offseason. Really, Mr. Dipoto, you are a clever man, because you just shelled out almost a third of $1 billion for 4 people. That's, I mean, come on. You took the top 2 free agents off the market. You really think that Prince Fielder is going to go anywhere? I mean, I don't imagine that he will. Prince Fielder was the second best hitter on the market in the National League. So when you look at the fact that Prince Fielder no longer has that competition in Albert Pujols, what motivation does he have to leave? The National League's Central's rivalry, Brewers and the Cardinals just suffered a big blow. So now you have Prince Fielder who says, okay, the Cardinals lost a key player. Now we might have a shot at actually doing something. So I'm going to stick with the Brewers. I don't think he'll go anywhere. The Rangers, of course, they want to try to counter what we've done. But I find that hard for them to do. I mean, we just took a key component out of their starting rotation, and we added a monster hitter who, to be quite honest, I don't see how the Rangers are going to be able to counter him. They'll probably just not pitch to him. And then if we put someone like Morales or Trumbo behind him, they'll hit off the pitcher too. Pujols in Anaheim against Texas will demolish them. The way the ball carries out of there, I think Pujols is going to have a very, very, very successful career over the next 2 years against Texas, in Texas. So I mean, it just you look at the situation and you have to think, what are other teams thinking right now? What is running through their minds? What's going through Houston's mind? Houston is obviously probably thinking, well, that's great. We have to go play in a division with them. I mean, it's going to be tough for other teams psychologically. In terms of how they spend their money, in terms of scrambling to find a way to counter what we've done. We've made the single biggest move this offseason, and nobody can counter that. The only way to counter that would be pick up, to basically do what we did in the second half. Pick up Burley and pick up Fielder for one team. And even then, I don't think that would be nearly as good because, again, Burley and Fielder weren't the top two. I mean, they're the top two remaining, but, I mean, Dipoto did a wonderful job. And 6 weeks ago, if you would have said the Angels were going to nab Wilson, just Wilson, you would have said, no, it doesn't make sense. Why nab Wilson? They don't have the money. If you would have said they were going to nab Pujols, you would have said, no, there's not a chance in hell. Would not have happened. People would have thought you were crazy if they just would have said, one or the other. Now, if you would have told someone they're going to grab both, and then pick up a new catcher, and then pick up a veteran reliever, people would have laughed at you. In fact, there were probably people who did get laughed at. So, you look at that situation now and you think, wow, Dipoto doesn't screw around. So, yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Dipoto, for being the Anaheim Angels' new GM. I look forward to seeing what happens to the rest of the year. Opening day cannot get here soon enough, and I actually live in Kansas, so I moved to Kansas from Anaheim, and I drive up to Kansas City every year to see them. And unfortunately, this year the opening series with the Royals is in Anaheim, and I'll be watching that here. But Anaheim Angels are going to sweep the Royals the first 3 games of the year, and I predict Pujols will hit at least 3 home runs in those first 3 games. I think it's going to be a great year, and I think Pujols is going to have an outstanding year as an Angel, and I look forward to seeing the mixture of Wilson in the rotation and seeing how Pujols rubs off on the other guys. So, yeah, definitely something that I'm really excited about, and you should be too as Angels fans, absolutely. So let's give a big round of applause to our new general manager, Jery Dipoto.